Hey, what's up? How y'all doing? You already know what's going on. You see what's happening. Yeah, baby. Yeah. It's time for True Talks. You know, it's our new talk show on Fox Soul and, of course, on YouTube. And y'all are joining us here live tonight. And guess what day it is? It's Friday, suckers! Yeah, the end of the week, the last day. And, of course, you know, I'm excited to join my Truth Avengers and share my thoughts on stories you all are talking about, right? So if you're new here, welcome to the Truth family. And, of course, if you've been here since day one, we really appreciate you. So what I want you to do is head on over to Fox Soul right now, and then you can find us on YouTube at 8 o'clock sharp. Today, we're talking about cancel culture and the Redemption Tour, so make sure you leave a comment and tell us what you think. All right, get ready. Y'all ready?
Yes.
Let's go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? I'm Brian Cameron. I am a radio host out of Atlanta, but you can catch my show in all different markets around the country. And we're back with another great episode of Truth Talks. Bree Renee, from the A, tell them what we got going on today.
That was good, Ryan.
Bars.
Right. What's up, you guys? I'm Bree Renee, straight from the A, radio, television personality, podcaster, Instagram, and YouTuber, where I vlog and share my life, including that I'm a proud dog mom to my puppy, Evie. She's at home right now, and I got the TV on, so she better be watching, okay? Because I'm on my way. Hey, Evie, girl.
Hello, Evie. Hello, Evie. How you doing? Now, when it comes to Truth Talks, we don't hold back, even if the truth hurts.
Yes.
All right, so let me introduce the rest of my co-hosts, some incredible folks you need to know. If you don't know, you need to know about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, or as we call her, Dr. Viral.
What's up, Truth Talk fam? Hey, Doc Squad. Y'all know what it is, your favorite doctor, who? Dr. B. I am psychology expert, best-selling author. President NAACP, but now I'm a co-host on my new talk show, True Talk. So there you go. Can't wait to chop it up with y'all and see what y'all got to say. Drop it in the comments. You agree, you don't agree, or hey, you just like what the hell we're talking about.
All right, we got one more special co-host. Willie Moore Jr., ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Willie Moore.
Willie.
I'm Willie Moore Jr. and I'm adorable. Let's get that out the way, okay? I'm cheek pinch adorable.
Right.
I'm burpable adorable. Come on, let's get that out the way. But no, I'm a syndicated radio host, of course, and then of course an amazing podcast called The Love You More Show. I'm just excited that I get the opportunity to hang out with my Truth Avengers here. And listen, here's the thing. I know that I've been looking in the comments and some people like, what's up with the bell? What's up with the bell? I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I want to introduce you to her. Her name is Belisha. Come on. There she is. Come on, somebody. Now, you'll hear from Belisha throughout the show, especially tonight, because I tell you what, we might be going back and forth. So I'm going to introduce that first. So if we start to have a little bit of friction, I'll just ring the bell. She'll act as a referee. Now, if you only hear one bell, that means that was a great point, and we're really excited about it. So if you would like to shout her out, do it in the comments and tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't be distracted by her. She's only here to help. All right? Flat out.
Hashtag Belisha.
Belisha. Now, we got a great show for you tonight, so let's get started with our trending truths. Are y'all ready? Okay, here we go.
Let's do it. So more and more celebrities are leaving X. Elon Musk's social media site, X was formerly known as Twitter, as you know, is facing another mass exodus by A-listers because Elon campaigned with the one and only Donald Trump and even offered financial incentives to people who voted for the Republican candidate.
Yeah, here's a list of some of the celebs that deleted their ex accounts.
Let's go.
Jamie Lee Curtis, Gabrielle Union, Don Lemon, Bette Midler. I love Bette Midler, and Jamie Lee Curtis. And there's so many more. The list goes on. But do y'all feel like this is performative rather than leaving social media app? How about we find laws that he's actually violating and then prosecute him for it? He might be violating some laws that we, probably are turning a blind eye to again.
Elon above the law, is what he said.
He is, because he on Trump's side.
He
they both
he
Well,
on
he did
Trump's
that
side.
the sweepstake for the voters.
Yeah.
He did it right, though, because technically, again, the law says you cannot pay someone to register to vote or vote. So what did he do? Remember, he picked the 3 people who had already registered and already voted and said these are the winners.
Yeah.
But that was wordplay. It was false advertisement, false marketing. and it was bribery.
And illegal.
Bribery at its best. Yeah, but he beat that law.
Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about X. I mean, I've been on Twitter for many years.
Me too.
And the one thing about it is, if I want to search for anything, I go and I type in the search bar, and somebody either posted a video or posted a clip, and it's something that's unfortunately for people who are trying to, like Gabrielle Union, when she got off, they drug her.
Yeah.
They was killing her in the comments. I mean, I use it for all of my social media stuff because I can find anything on that.
Fast.
Now, one thing about Donald Trump and of course Elon Musk, he took him to SpaceX today. They are now calling themselves like buddies, and he's also saying like he's almost like the co-president. Now that's very dangerous. Now, as far as if it's freedom of speech, then X is where it is because people are saying hate speech, love speech,
Yeah.
any other kind of speech. I mean, because again, he says he wants it all to be unregulated.
And
They
it
are
is
buddies.
unregulated.
They are
I'm sick of
buddies,
that
yeah.
porn.
And they
okay?
buddies and
And
best
porn on
friends,
there,
though.
too.
The porn
Because
is
Elon
crazy.
was with him at the boxing match when the boxer gave.
Yeah, he was sitting right next to
Trump
him.
He was standing up like this, so excited. I'm ringside with Trump. Right here with a black boxer who's a champ. Like he was in heaven.
Yeah, but moving on to I'm in my bag, I'm in my selfie. Yes, the fashion designer Teflar Clemens is opening his first flagship store in New York on November 23rd. The store is a 10,000 square foot located in New York's Soho neighborhood, and it will be the only place in the world actually where shoppers can buy the full range of its popular totes, nicknamed the Bushwick Birkin. And y'all know that's a black-owned brand
Come
too.
on
Let's
now.
just to shout that out. We've seen it on so many celebrities like Beyonce, Zoe Kravitz, and Oprah. They all have been rocking selfies.
And I just ordered the new clear bags that they have because
Oh,
it's black
thank
owned,
you.
2 of them, one for me, one for my assistant. Now listen, y'all, the store's arrival is 2 years in the making and was announced after a one-day pop-up at the retailer Rainbow in downtown Brooklyn blew up during New York Fashion Week. There will also be a TV in the store, y'all, where shoppers can shoot their own content, right? The concept looks to mirror Telfar TV, the brand's own television channel on which viewers can purchase products and engage with brand exclusive content.
Genius.
I love that. Go on and do the bell if you're going to do it. Is Telfar forward thinking when it comes to having a TV studio inside a retail store, or is this beneficial?
I think it's so genius because you know now that like influencers are, and even not even influencers, like people who purchase your product, the content creation is like the biggest advertisement you can get.
Right.
So why not have a studio where as soon as they get their bag, you can walk right on over there and make some content for us, and we can push it out. I think that's smart.
I
That's
love to
perfect for
see
you, Bree.
entrepreneurs do that. I love to see entrepreneurs reimagine what business looks like.
Yeah.
Like Ryan, you do a really good job. Like when you talk about, man, I had an idea, and I think black people got to know, man. Like if you have an idea, you can move it forward. A lot of times we scared because of our former issues, problems, and things that didn't work. But I love to see people reimagine how to market their business.
That was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's in Soho because, that is always like the trendy place that people go and shop. I mean, people automatically want to put something in Manhattan, but to be in Soho,
But
I think it's
Soho
going to have
But Soho has the top of the top. Of the
that's what I'm
boutique
saying.
stores. I
It's
love
almost like
Soho.
Bell Harbor in Miami going to
Yes,
Soho.
and I love that it's black owned because let me tell y'all this, men, I'm single. If you want to buy me a bag, don't buy me a Birkin. Buy me a Telfar or whatever because it's black owned. I'll take that instead, okay? Along with that private jet on the brunch.
And you said you just ordered 2 clear ones. Is that to get through the
Yes.
airport?
Well, that and when I go to sporting
Games,
events.
yeah.
Right? The bag is this size.
How much are these
Right.
bags?
The clear
They
one
range-
they weren't that bad. The clear one was like $260.
I was gonna say they range anywhere
250,
between like $150 to I think
$260,
$600.
but it's clear with the T on it.
And they're
it's
always
so
sold
cute.
out, I heard.
Always.
Well, that clear one wasn't. I bought 2 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
You didn't get one for Bree?
No, she didn't think about me.
I will. Don't do me like that. I be thinking about my little sis. I'm gonna add your clear. You want a clear one?
I do.
Okay, I got you.
All right.
you.
Moving forward, rapper NBA YoungBoy has pled guilty to his role in a large-scale prescription drug fraud ring that he operated out of his house, his multi-million-dollar house in Utah. Now, he's 25 years old. His real name is Kentrell Galden. He was originally charged with 46 charges related to the alleged crime. On Monday, he pleaded guilty to a number of felony counts and a no-contest plea to the remaining charges.
Now, as a part of the plea deal, his 4 felony charges were reduced to a Class A misdemeanor, and he was ordered to just pay $25,000. It just was a fine. The district judge, Spencer Walsh, agreed suspend a prison sentence as Galden is already expected to serve a substantial 27 months in federal prison. For another case stemming up out of Utah. Following his release, Galden will be then placed on a 5-year federal supervised probation. My question is this, and I'm gonna slow it down. Rappers, why can't we just get it together? Why can't we leave these streets alone?
Willie, you know better than anybody that the music industry doesn't pay as much as we think it does. So I think a lot of these rappers are still dibbling and dabbling in streets and illegal activity because they feel the pressure to live up to a certain lifestyle financially that they can't afford off of them record deals. Because you know the record label is robbing them.
And a lot of times them record deals ain't what we think they are. I mean, you're not saying that your deal wasn't big, but you understand
This
that.
back in 2000,
Let me
we
tell you
making
something though.
deals.
I just got my book publishing deal. I gotta pay my literary agent. I gotta pay the editors. I gotta pay the PR. I gotta pay the marketing. Do you know how much money is out of that thing? Even though that thing is real big and fat, but you know how much money comes out of that before it even gets to Dr. B?
You talking about your book, right?
Come on, book publishing deal.
I was confused.
Don't play with me.
I was so
Ryan.
confused.
We got to come
Oh,
back because
Lord
you
have
know how she be talking about.
She said stuff coming out of that fat
Up
thing.
next,
I was so lost.
to no surprise, there's been an uptick in white supremacist events, and since you know who was elected, it's gotten out of control. When we come back on True Talk. And welcome back to True Talks. Now we've warmed you up with fun pop culture and big bags. We're about to get serious and dive into some political issues facing Black America. As you know, local, national, and global news will impact our community the most. So we like to look at the latest political news through our own lens.
Now, racist text messages were mysteriously sent again to random phones. Now, if you weren't aware about this, most young Black people received racist texts in the wake of the November 5th election. Now, while the wording wasn't identical, they included individuals being told they've been selected to pick cotton on a plantation. Two of my friends, they sent it to me. I want you to take a look.
That's crazy.
Been selected to go to the plantation and pick cotton, said that he would be picked up in a brown van by executive slaves.
You'll be dropped out of school and become a full-time cotton picker, making 75 cents an hour. Sounds good.
She had a plantation letter and a plantation number.
Authorities are investigating after racist text messages were anonymously sent to Black children, college students, and other adults across the U.S.
This should not be sent to any student, black, brown, blue, purple, yellow, whatever.
Yeah, that's disgusting. I mean, but let's not kid ourselves. This country has elected a president who encourages hate, and these racist groups have been emboldened. Is anyone surprised by this? Because I'm not.
I'm a little surprised,
Are you?
just a little bit.
Why?
I didn't think that we would start talking about cotton and
again.
plantation.
Why wouldn't you? They said that Puerto Rico would, and I'm not finna even repeat it.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm just saying. You asked, was I surprised? Hell, I told you the truth. I'm surprised. I didn't think we were gonna do plantation. Like, ain't nobody gonna go pick no cotton. They got machines to do that. See, the difference between you and me is my mom and them actually did pick cotton. So I know that that's just something that you're not gonna do. You're not gonna get it fast enough, and economically it don't make sense. So I didn't think these texts would come out.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I mean?
also don't think this is something Trump pushed. I think whoever these white privileged people are who are happy he's in office
Fake
came
news.
together. No, and did this mass. Trump do a lot of dumb stuff. I can't see him sitting with his cabinet going, okay, y'all, so on this date we're just gonna push a text message out that says everybody black go pick
I don't
cotton.
think
I just
Trump
don't see
did
that.
I don't think he
it's
did that. I
horrible.
think his example of
Yes.
hatred has led other people
Yeah.
to feel the
Yeah, this
to
is
get
a
the
product
gumption.
of him,
Yes.
absolutely, yes.
Yes.
I
But
don't
we're
think he
bombarded
pushed
with
this
spam
agenda.
messages every day. I mean, probably I deleted, at least 10 people saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
how are you?" Or, "Hey, what time are we meeting?" I mean, that's the whole, the methodology of today's technologies. You just send something, you send something, you send something, and it got the attention that people wanted it to get because now it made the news.
And I would have texted back and said, F you punk A, N-I-G-G-A-H, exclamation mark. I would have
I
texted
think-
him back that.
And the question is, to me, is like, how did they specifically target black numbers? Like, especially this, it seemed to be younger people too. So I'm like, it had to be someone to sit down and like go through a Rolodex of numbers.
With
of school-
algorithms, you can tell what
and
race
from your
somebody
voting
is.
But these
Yeah.
people, these kids were too young to vote. These were high schoolers, middle schoolers.
But if that kid is on a family plan and the
black
mom and
household.
daddy is black, all you do is text the whole dang on household.
Every time we
And
click
eliminate
accept,
Y'all
everybody.
got too much time.
every time
on
we
y'all
click
hands.
accept on those, on those different
Yep.
apps or
All
whatever,
them
we don't know.
cookies.
We don't know what we saying yes to.
I done accepted so many cookies and ain't got none yet, Ron. Where my cookies at? I'm just playing.
Yeah, y'all. Well, listen, y'all. Latino and LGBTQ
What?
plus people were also targeted by similar threatening text messages saying they were selected for deportation or to report to a re-education camp.
Sad.
Now, the FBI said they were aware of these offensive and racist text messages the first time around. It keeps happening. They obviously have some leads by now. But, you know, Donald Trump has already said the FBI is already bad anyway, so I'm not sure how active they are in trying to stop these things. Shouldn't the FBI be doing more to stop this? I mean, it's hurtful, it's damaging, especially to young kids.
Man, look, the FBI know where every text message came from. They can track it back now to every computer. What's the little code?
The hand holder,
yes,
the IP address.
IP address. They know where it's coming from. They just don't care. Why? Because our justice is so low on the totem pole. They ain't worried about us.
The real question is, what is this a seed to? I believe that
More
there's
hate.
always like a seed. So it's like, okay, what are we leading to? I think
Right.
it's time to really, you know, I love it, Bree, because we aggressive. It's like, we shouldn't do this. The question becomes, why is this happening and where are we going with it? Because this is a thought process. Like, you know, some people like horror flicks and all that. I'm like, okay, cool. That's somebody's thought process. So somebody's thinking about this, and I believe it's leading to
And this
something.
is the thing. They're talking about cotton picking, right? We got Trump in office who's talking about getting rid of DEI, getting rid of affirmative action. He's talking about concentration camps. And so what's happening is people are going back and living like as though we're in the 60s. This is becoming a civil rights movement again, or back in
Reverse
1906.
civil rights.
And reversal, or back in 1906 when Black Wall Street was burned down, and through that NAACP established because as a result of Black Wall Street being burned down. What that means is it's not a good time, but it's also could be a really pivotal, amazing time for the Black community, meaning this is a time when we are back in the civil rights era.
Yeah.
We can have the reinvented new Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, the Black Panthers. This is when the new age people, not a particular age, but all people could come out as Black people and say, listen, I'm not MLK, but I'm the new 2024, 25 MLK. And these are the things we have to organize and strategize to do. Because the white people or the folks who are for Trump, the white supremacists, whatever you want to call them, white privileged folks, they are back in the 60s, 50s in their mind, are back in the 1920s.
Right.
We have to, as Black people, say, you know what? This is the time where we can actually create legacy by shifting an entire culture. And this is the reinventation, to me, of the MLKs, of the Malcolm X's,
I hope
of those
that,
big,
that
those
this
W.E.B.
is
Du
something that
Boises.
is going to be energizing to the
Marcus Garvey's.
NAACP, because, you know, if that's going to get something to get them to join, just like all these people who join these white supremacist groups, then maybe they'll join the NAACP, maybe they'll join the SCLC, and we can get our messaging to our people in a better and bigger way. Because without, I mean, really, I mean, you look back at it, people aren't really joining like they used to, so they need to be
But Ryan,
re-energized.
because they didn't have to.
Right.
When you start getting cotton picking text message, when you start getting people to say we're taking away your DEI, your affirmative action, your rights, your the way you feed your family, Black people, our backs are going to be up against the wall like it was when Black Wall Street was burned down. And we have to mobilize each other, and we have to do something about it.
Yeah.
So coming up, why are some celebrities non-cancelable? You don't want to miss this. We got more True Talks when we come back. And we are back here at True Talks with so many things going on in the world. Cancel culture is yet another thing to worry about when you have a platform. Nobody wants to be canceled, and the lines get blurred more and more over who is sensitive about what. And the LGBTQ community, all audience has already tried unsuccessfully to cancel Dave Chappelle for his comic routine. So let's take a look at this.
But you see, what I didn't realize at the time and what Kevin had to learn the hard way is we were breaking an unwritten and unspoken rule of show business. Yeah. And if I say it, you'll know that I'm telling you the truth. The rule is that no matter what you do in your artistic expression, you are never, ever allowed to upset the alphabet people. You know who I mean. Those people that took 20% of the alphabet for themselves.
Not 20%. That's funny.
I'd say the letters, but I don't want to conjure their anger.
Not conjure.
It's too late now. I'm talking about them L's and them B's and them G's and the T's. People be surprised. I have friends, all kinds of letters. Everybody loves me, and I love everybody. I got friends who are L's, I got friends who are B's, and I got friends who are G's. But the T's hate my guts.
Oh my God.
And I don't blame them. It's not their fault, it's mine. I can't stop telling jokes about these. I don't want to write these jokes, but I just can't stop.
Stop. It's so funny. Dave Chappelle is one of the greatest
comedy.
comedians of our time.
People want to bleed on these comedics when it's like, this is what they do. This stuff is to be experienced and not to be personalized. It's like comedy is different than, I believe, racist tactics. It's like, especially if you're a black comedian, listen, there's black privilege and white privilege. When it comes to comedy, we definitely got black privilege. We are the race and culture that can talk about anything or anybody.
I ain't gonna lie, I like when white comedians say racist jokes too. I think comedy is comedy. It's just art. And to me, it's like a great art, a painter. It's like painting with your words.
Yeah.
And any great artist makes you feel something.
Yeah.
So with their words and their jokes, they're making you feel something, even if it is outrage.
And you're there to laugh. Like, get over
being
it.
a comedian and actor, sometimes I have to ask, is cancel culture holding people accountable, or is it just another way to hold down successful black figures?
I like that.
Like, who really gets canceled? And the question becomes, why?
The black ones who are powerful tend to be the ones that get canceled. But I agree with Dave Chappelle, and I'm definitely, a big advocate and supporter for LGBTQ plus community. But the baby made one comment that had nothing to do with the gay community directly. And they came out and they did cancel him because he lost a lot of money for his festivals and everything. Yeah. However, he got canceled but came back, and now he's back doing his thing. But it took a lot of apology and PRing, and it's like, yeah.
I think it's very selective. I mean, you look at somebody like Travis Scott, where, of course, people got killed at one of his festivals, and now he's back 100%. You look at Kevin Hart, who had a DUI, ran into the back of a truck and it exploded, had a sex tape on film, got extorted, and he is on everything that's known to man.
It has nothing to do with the LGBTQ
That's what I'm saying,
community. That community is very sensitive when it comes to anything that is derogatory toward them. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be, but that community is. I talk about it with my gay best friend. I even tell my gay best friends, 2 of them, I say, tell me why are y'all so sensitive? You know what they say? It's not y'all. Even them, as gay women, they're like, no, there's a group of the community that's sensitive. It's not all of them.
And I think it's because they're marginalized. And I think that certain group that they're talking about, unfortunately, is the white marginalized group. They aren't used to being the minority. They aren't used to being marginalized. That's a good point. So when they are the butt of the joke, they really sometimes can't take it. But black people, we tend to make jokes about ourselves all the time, whether you in that community or not. Yeah. So it's just part of our culture. And I think lighten up, to me, the biggest form of bravery, the biggest form of I'm comfortable with who I am is to make fun of yourself. This is who I am. Look, they called me Big Bird since I was 6, 7 years old.
Oh, Big Bird.
Yeah, because I was tall and light and bright. Guess what? I make jokes about it. Guess what?
I've never heard you call yourself
I never heard you call Big Bird.
No, but
I do want to say one thing about the transgender
I'm a bird,
thing.
baby, and I fly.
The first transgender congressperson out of Delaware was elected in this last election, right? And they've already introduced something within the House of Congress that says they only want that person to go to a restroom based on their sex when they were born. They've already introduced something amongst the people who are in Congress.
Ryan, but
so
what's wrong with that? Do you see something wrong with that?
I think that if you're trying to single somebody out just because you're trying to have an agenda, I don't think that's right. If you're a transgender and you're the first person elected, I don't understand why you want to try to introduce some legislation. Like they've had dress codes, and they've had people that have been kicked out of Congress, off of the halls because of the way they were dressed. I just think you're just trying to poke at people and just let them be who they are going to be.
But as far as the bathroom thing, do you think that they should be able to use any bathroom they want, or do you think they should use the restroom by the sex they were born?
I think if you going in the stall and closing your door, I don't care who in there. Okay, just don't bother me. That's how I feel.
I understand everybody's great, but I'm a strong believer that when God made you, He didn't make a mistake. And so when you have an opportunity to be, whoever you want to be in this country, I have no problem with it. But when it comes to that bathroom, I don't know about you, but I don't want my daughter running in there, 6 years old, because she's getting to that time now where I'm like, hey, you got to go in there, baby, because these big old men, they stink, right? And I just want to make sure that, that she's good. So I don't think it's wrong with, changing some legislation. The one thing I've learned now is that America has learned how to make wrong right and right wrong. And so, at the end of the day, sometimes there's going to be some different changes that are going to come down the pipelines. Trump ran his whole campaign based upon there'll be some changes, and I think that's what's happening in Congress. It starts from the top, and I think you'll see some changes in schools, too.
Well, I look at the bathroom in a totally different way. If I got to go into the bathroom and I see somebody in there sitting down, I'm turning around because I don't want to be a part of that.
Well, if you in your own stall, how would you know what they said?
Because I can smell it. Preach. Keep it real. It feels like some people are non-cancelable while others get exiled. It sometimes feels like a double standard to me in our community. What y'all think?
Again, I feel like the cancel thing is to the black folks, particularly black men in
I was
power.
gonna say black
the
men.
issue that I have with it is, you know, some of the agendas could be led by, you know, the systemic white privilege or supremacy, but it's black people who are pushing the white agenda and canceling their own people. That's when I have an issue with it. Like, for example, the baby got canceled. I still supported him. Dave Chappelle, they can cancel him. I'm still gonna support him. These are black men who are making a living, who are in their craft, and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. If you don't like them, say the F off of their music or the F off of their Netflix, then you can just go circle somebody else's block. But I find them funny. I'm not personalizing it. I just think it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm telling you this. I think we run a big risk of silencing important conversation when we just keep canceling someone. Don't people have a right to question your beliefs, your opinions, engage in healthy conversation? Like, is that a mistake? Is that a problem?
Well,
I think we're canceling people.
It all depends on what it is. Like Michael Richards, who we all know from the Seinfeld show, when he got up on that stage and he said the N-word, that man was gone for damn near 10 years. I mean, they did not give him a break. And he still ain't really coming out now. So, I mean, I think it's all depending on what it is. If you're saying something that you're dropping the N-word or something like that, then I think you should be canceled.
But the N-word or the F-word for the gay community, those are all derogatory terms that are deemed hate crimes, right? So those are totally different than just me joking about you having a peanut head, Ryan.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's not.
Right? Nothing wrong with that.
Say,
really
if
mean
you
You know what I
gonna
mean?
tell the joke, at least just make it funny. Okay, if you can't, if it ain't so funny that it's gonna make us laugh at ourselves, then you just should stay away from it.
And that's why the comedians that go into these smaller clubs make sure everybody have their phone down.
Absolutely.
And then you go out there and you test the material. But I think it's like creative. Sometimes it's like stifling to your creativity when you're always thinking about, ooh, if I say this, you say that. Like, I like Dave Chappelle's approach. He's like, I can't stop making these jokes. Now, 2 or 3 times is a little bit unique. I think that's a little insensitive to the community in which you're offending.
Yeah.
However, you know, I'm just glad that he's standing on it like a rock.
Gotta stand on you, just double down on it, don't backpedal. If I said it once, I'll say it again, y'all. But listen, sometimes people cause repeated harm. Then, doesn't it become about protecting others instead of giving more chances? Again, I just feel like everyone's not for everyone.
Yeah,
That's just how I look at it. I'm not for everyone. Listen, my comments are literally full of 50% people who are saying, talk your crap, doc, you're the voice for us, we love you, you're everything. And then the other ones who are like, we tired of hearing you talk, shut up, you don't make no sense, you're single trying to give relationship advice. I told one person who said they was gonna follow, I said, baby, don't move too slow.
Make that move.
Don't move too slow. And then I block people. You know why? Because it's my page.
Yeah,
and if you don't like my block, I'm gonna put boundaries on my block.
Hey,
You're blocked.
I tell everybody, I ain't everybody's cup of tea, but I'm somebody's cup of coffee.
And
baby.
somebody gonna sip it.
I'm somebody's shot of tequila.
Oh, shoot.
Spicy.
Warm.
Go
But
ahead, Big Bird.
historically, blacks have always gotten the least amount of
don't care.
chances. You know, we get the short end of the stick. I don't think cancel culture is any different. R. Kelly, Kanye West, Jussie Smollett, Diddy, and even Monique, they've tried to cancel her.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's and speaking of Diddy, like what was the white guy who owned Abercrombie and Fitch? He did like
the former CEO.
That's what I'm saying. He did the same exact thing as Diddy, and he got bail. He ain't no white people talking about let's protest Abercrombie and Fitch. They still got stores, flagship stores in some of the biggest malls like Lenox in the country. So I feel like it is definitely a double standard when it comes to us in our community. They want to wipe R. Kelly's music from all the catalogs. Listen, we still need to step in the name of love, okay?
Hallelujah.
I need somebody to braid my hair sometime.
we-
and every child in America believes they can fly.
Come on,
Okay?
I believe I can
If
fly.
we gotta do a better job in our community as black people, supporting our black people who are being canceled.
Yeah.
I mean, we cannot agree with what they're doing. We don't have to cancel them for making their bread or being able to be in their craft.
Absolutely.
Indeed. You know, mistakes are not people, right? They're incidents. So if you made a mistake, make sure you understand that that's just an
Mistakes are
incident.
not people.
All right? But some are being vindicated, okay, by the people or their strong fan base after the dust settles. Like Monique, Chris Brown, and even Will Smith after the smack. He's back.
I don't know about Chris Brown. I don't think Chris Brown has been uncanceled. I think Will Smith did all of us a disservice because he acted like the whole world didn't see that, and he just never talked about it. And next thing you know, he's on Instagram jumping out of planes or whatever. I feel like he was playing in our face.
You think his apology was just some
He didn't.
BS?
He never gave an apology.
But
He
do
just
you
went
think-
back to business.
No,
He
did.
was-
He attempted to call the Rock family and apologize, but they weren't in the position
Yeah,
to
and somebody
accept it.
slapped him
Yeah.
in front of millions
No,
of
I
people.
get it.
What
Look,
can you say to me?
No, I covered on the news, and I said I agree with the Rock family, which Tone Rock, and then those are my people. So I agree with them. I'm riding with them, but he did attempt to apologize, and the Rock family was like you said, no, we're good. We're not accepting that apology.
To your point, I feel like Will Smith was never actually canceled. He definitely was immune in that. And I think that's because he has powerful people on the other side. You know what I mean? And it's like he's America's, not sweetheart.
Like America's boy next door type.
Yeah.
He's generated billions of dollars at the box office.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Still
continues
does. And
to.
still does.
But to your point about Chris Brown, I think Chris Brown was canceled to mainstream like award shows, but
That's it. Have you
everywhere
been to
around
his concerts?
But I was about to say everywhere around the world, Chris Brown is
Sold
still
out.
selling out. He still got hit records.
Yeah.
TikTok and Instagram
Flying
and
out.
social media, we still listening to Chris Brown. So we didn't cancel you.
You ain't
and-
seen him on the MTV. You ain't seen him on the VMAs.
Yeah,
the
but-
mainstream America has not forgiven Chris Brown. And the thing about it is that every time I remember going down to the Essence Festival, and when they did the Cash Money reunion, they wanted to bring Chris Brown out. Essence said, okay, you know what? We will allow Chris Brown to come out. But guess what? He posted something on Instagram that was violent about he was getting ready to jump on somebody. It was like, oh, he's still the same person.
No.
He's canceling himself.
That's the
But
thing.
you know
You
what,
got to
Ryan?
walk a
But
fine line when you do that.
awards don't make money. Tours and selling out records do. So he may not be at the award show, but he's damn sure in his bag. And for that, hey, you not counting.
He wants to be at the celebrity basketball game. He wants to be out there
wants
with the
to
rest
make
of the
money.
people. I understand making money and all that, but
making money,
he
Chris.
wants to be accepted and go out there with everybody else. It's like, why am I still not getting the respect I deserve?
Ryan,
because you keep on
if you
posting
meet
stuff
Ryan,
that keeps getting you
I hear
talked
what
about.
you're saying, but if you meet Chris in person,
I've been on.
Listen,
Go back
let
to
me
the
say
HBO.
this.
Wait,
Well,
go
Chris
back to the
don't- then-
HBO
then if you-
special.
right, then-
I'm the first person to interview
Okay,
Chris
then
Brown
you
when
should
he's
know-
in
right.
his van smoking weed at
then
16.
you should know
I
that.
know Chris Brown.
Right, then you should know Chris does not care about nobody disliking him or canceling him. Chris does not care about that. He's not running around not losing sleep
He
over
does
these
care.
people.
I wouldn't care
He does
either.
care.
I
He
wouldn't
doesn't.
care either as long as he's cashing out the checks at the bank. But
long as he
people
getting
whose
his money.
pockets were definitely hurt by this were like Monique. They definitely like blackballed her from mainstream
cared.
Hollywood. Like, and I get why she would
cared.
care because a lot of people did not want to work with Monique, all because she stood up
Yep.
for herself. And I think that is unfair, especially as Black people when you.
Yeah.
And she didn't make any hateful crimes or derogatory terms. All she did was stand strong for what she deserved. And I think that that's bad when we try to cancel people for defending themselves.
Well,
And
I
their
don't know the
value.
difference between what Monique said and what Taraji said. I mean, it's the exact same thing. And
we
Monique
didn't-
proved everybody that she was right.
Yeah,
So
she was.
Now,
So I think y'all owe her them checks that y'all didn't want her to get.
Now
Run
let's
her
get
money.
into that. Despite controversies with infidelity, business decisions, and missteps, some celebrities still come out on top no matter what. Keep it right here because up next, we got a lot more to cover in our controversial conversation about the cancel culture. You don't want to miss this. And we are back on True Talks talking about the cancel culture. A story today broke about Diddy and an Airbnb that he had with Meek Mill's birthday party back in 2014, where the owner of the Airbnb said one of the stipulations that they wanted to have in there that they had to have double-sided locks installed inside the Airbnb, where they found razor blades, hundreds of razor blades, where people could not get in or out. So is Diddy canceled?
Definitely canceled.
Diddy is secondary counsel. One first by the white people, second by the black people, and then third combined together. He just canceled. Period. Heck yeah, he's canceled. Who? He ain't living large in prison.
They fighting to make up his bed in jail.
That man collapsed in the courtroom when he heard his sentence. Diddy is having a hard time, a very hard time.
Y'all, you talk about in a previous episode this week. You talked about the mental rehabilitation, like going through
mental health diversion.
the mental health diversion. I think he's a prime candidate for that campaign because the, double locks, they can't get in or out with razor blades. What's sexual or sexy about razor blades?
And bloody sheets, too.
And bloody sheets.
Oh, Jesus, my booty hole clench.
But don't let your booty hole clutch, babe. But here's the thing, you know, I can't stand you. But no, I want you to really, to people out there who have these obscene fetishes and all of that, it always starts with that, and it just spirals out
It
of
always
control.
starts with what?
Fetish.
The blood and the booty hole?
No, it don't start with that. It starts with porn. It starts
Oh.
with just fun little things, and it starts when you 12.
What
I always
happened
tell
to
people.
vanilla porn? Like guy on girl, maybe even a threesome, but bloody
Listen,
sheets?
baby,
that's crazy.
sin ain't got no boundaries.
That's crazy.
It's want to grow and go.
All right, now we were talking about Will Smith, and for good measure, we should add Jada Pinkett Smith and her entanglement with August Alsina. Did they skirt being canceled because of the slap on Chris Rock, where others might have been, canceled for their actions, or was that just the spin machine? Was it just that good?
No, they definitely skirted on that because another thing that people don't often talk about is how August Alsina was her son's friend.
Right, best friend.
Best friend and much, much younger. Like almost like
20 plus years.
yeah,
right?
20 plus. It was almost like sick a little bit. So I think like they said, because they are such higher up, mixed in with other type of group of people, then they have that immunity that we don't often get.
I think it's because they already have a open polyamorous relationship that people are not so surprised that August Alsina came to Jada first to help him with some of his depression issues. And she took that depression and gave him antidepressant that I don't condone, but that's what she did. And it just happened to work it on.
That
He was taking that Jada pill.
That Jada
He took a
pill.
Jada pill.
A Jada
right,
pill.
and it was said that Will Smith knew about it the entire time, and they set it up for Red Table Talk to make it look like Will didn't, so that they can obviously get ratings. And so a lot of stuff that Jada and Will do, they have a very transparent relationship. It's polyamorous. They're not hiding anything. Jada said it. She said, "Look, Joker, before we break up, Joker, you going on the west side of the house, I'm going on the east side of the house. We do our own thing, and we gonna stay married and stay together." So we know that that's what their relationship's about.
Yeah.
It's business. It's a transactional relationship.
Because she said that
That's
divorce
it.
was never going to
They
be an option with
freaky,
them.
okay?
It's never
some
gonna be an
freaky
option.
stuff
Yeah.
going on and highly weird, all right?
But
You
what
need
I
to
can
hide your
say is this,
kids.
that I do respect that Jada and Will have made a commitment and a covenant to not divorce. All they would do is divorce and go separate places to do the same damn thing with somebody else. If
But
this is what
Jada-
they like, stick it together. I'm not leaving my husband. I'm not saying we could do the East Wing and the West Wing, but I'm not leaving my husband.
But
so y'all
I
gonna
don't
call
think that
me
it's a
freaky or whatever, that's
covenant
fine.
like under God, because Jada did recently say that the reason why they don't divorce her, she hasn't ever considered, is because she's not mature enough to apically split their
Right.
earnings. And we all know that Will done earned a lot over the years versus what Jada has.
Jada's kept, and she trying to stay right where she kept. Stay there, sis.
Indeed, she kept it good with my dear brother too down in
Sure
Louisiana.
did.
Come on. So is it a spin?
What?
Or is it spin,
minute,
or
hold
are
on,
people
it's like
like
what?
Oprah?
What's that
Hold on,
tea?
who-
Let me, I'm
who's
sipping
in
it. but
Louisiana?
Y'all know August from Louisiana. That's my guy.
Oh, okay, all right. When you said that,
Oh, you
we
said
thought
your
one of your clergy
brother.
men. Yeah, we
Yeah.
know what
We
you're
thought-
talking
Yeah,
about.
no, he
Get
a
your
Louisiana go Baton
homeboy.
Rouge before he used
I
to
caught
be a
that
real
tea.
street guy. Anywho, like real quick question: is it a spin, or are people like Oprah, Kevin Hart, Will Smith, LeBron James, Jay-Z? I want you to be really, really honest, one at a time. Are they cancelable?
Are they non-cancelable?
Oprah,
can they
hell
get
no,
canceled?
she ain't gonna
Yeah,
get
you
canceled.
can't cancel Oprah.
Jay-Z, he ain't gonna get canceled. Let me tell you something. You can only
think
cancel.
so?
You can only cancel people who are in the pay bracket to give a damn about being canceled. Don't nobody sitting up there with generational wealth. Let me tell you, if I get to generational wealth, all y'all can cancel me up in here. I wouldn't give a damn.
But what's that number? I
don't
feel
care.
like Jay-Z. We saw Diddy, who was a billionaire, get taken down.
But-
so what's the number?
Well,
Jay-Z's a
Diddy-
billionaire. He
Now,
could be
if
taken down.
Jay-Z ends up behind bars, that's a different type of cancel. We're talking about just being canceled out, being free. Like Chris Brown, he's out doing shows. Oprah's doing her. You're not going to cancel Oprah and she's going to sit up there and really lose sleep and be in her big old home in Santa Barbara going, oh my God, the black people already canceled Oprah to me over and over and over and over
we have.
again.
I know my generation.
They canceled her so many times,
Yeah,
and
we
she's
don't
still
really
doing
feel
her.
like Oprah really.
I
rock with
think
it.
They're not.
Oprah,
Still
for
not
the
feeling her.
past like 2 years, Oprah just been lying to us in our face.
Yeah, that's how
She
we
lied
feel.
about Ozempic, and
Yeah.
then she did the Weight Watchers special, and then she did the town hall meeting about Kamala, and it came out she got $1 million, but then they came back later
More
on
than
and
$1
said,
million.
no, it was $2.5 million.
Yeah.
So she keeps on lying. She keeps on lying. I think one day that Gail's gonna take off her mask on TV, and it's gonna be Stedman
Gail
under there.
better not.
That's
wanna see
scary.
it.
Yeah, I think so.
Bill.
They both big and tall. They look alike. I can see
I
that.
think Jay-Z is next.
I do.
Honestly. I think Jay-Z is
Yeah, I'm
next.
sure.
Every time you see Jay-Z out, he looks like he needs to go do a number 2, 3, 4, and 5. His face is so twisted and contorted. He is a very
stressed out.
unhappy young
He
man
looks
right
stressed
now.
out. He ain't young,
He's
but he looks
stressed.
stressed out.
That's why
Yeah.
Beyonce just working, child, trying to save up that money in that coin to take
How
care
you
of
go
the
from being at the
kids.
Super
got
Bowl to being at the halftime performance on Christmas Day? She trying to get them coins.
She
up.
getting them every way she can, because she going to have to pay for them lawyers when Jay-Z start going down.
I'd have to see Jay-Z behind bars to
Why do
believe that.
y'all think he's next?
Because him
Well-
and Diddy are best friends, or they've been best friends for many years.
But we
And
haven't
you know,
heard
I
anything
learned
about
from
Jay
TikTok.
and sex trafficking. We haven't heard any of that or underage
That's 'cause
women.
of Tate
Oh,
said
I
that.
have.
Underage
I
girls.
have. That's why y'all got to go down the rabbit holes on TikTok. TikTok said now.
TikTok said.
TikTok said.
TikTok
No,
said.
TikTok.
Millennial.
I don't know.
TikTok said.
Because TikTok be selling the truth sometimes. TikTok said that Jay-Z
Lord.
has did a lot of
Allegedly.
things with underage women, allegedly.
Yeah.
Especially even they pointed out the big age gap even with Beyonce. They also showed that he was 20-something years old and started dating Beyonce at 15, 16. They also talked about, his alleged relationship with Aaliyah. They talked about a lot of people like that. They also allegedly said that Lemonade, this what TikTok said now. They said that Lemonade, when she was talking about I would rip her skin off and wear it as a mask. Beyonce said it in a song that was actually about a young woman that Jay-Z allegedly had a situation with and allegedly had her unalived because he didn't want the affair to come out and to say Beyonce
Well,
relationship.
Beyonce put
That's
that
what
in her
TikTok
song.
said.
That's
You ain't
just
heard it
stupid.
from me.
Yeah, to put that in your song, even if it is true, sis, that's wild. But listen, y'all, how
We
do
gon'
we
see.
really, we'll see, girl, how do we really measure redemption? Is it about time served in celebrity prison, purgatory, or is it an action or public perception? How do we measure their sincerity and or authenticity when some of them have these crisis management teams behind them?
I mean, you see what's going on with Diddy right now. I mean, it just came out that they were saying that whole birthday post from all of his kids when he was on the phone was pretty, and he was calling people on the three-way, intimidating them from prison. And he keeps on trying to, because on that video, he's like telling his kids, I'll see you in a couple of days. Like, Daddy, we can't wait to see you. Like, somebody thought he was getting out of prison, but now, they're taping every call. They got people inside that are snitching on everything that he's doing, but he's just showing that's why he probably shouldn't be out, because he's going to try to continue to intimidate these witnesses.
Yeah, if it comes out that Diddy did do all those things, I don't think there's an apology big enough to make women victims that have been of abuse of certain crimes or the same thing, or they're not going to be able to forgive him for that. But when it comes to things that people say, like the comedians we were talking about, or like the Monique, I don't feel like you should have to get up there and apologize. Like I said, I don't feel like we the ones that judge you. And even when it comes to the crimes, once they do their times, their time in prison or served, they shouldn't have to be subject to public scrutiny. Like it's Jesus at the end of the day. You got to go before God.
And then, so look at Colin Kaepernick. Like, why should he be canceled in the first place? Like, he was blackballed from the NFL for his peaceful protest against police brutality and racial injustice back in 2016. He's a civil rights icon, but he lost that bag when he was branded unpatriotic.
That man ain't no icon. He ain't no civil rights icon. You cannot take the knee and have everybody standing up for you, and then you want to sue the NFL. You got 32 white owners who are all billionaires, and it's time now for the depositions, which means all the things that you could be subject to, and they paid him off, and he still wanted to try to get back in the league. I don't know if that makes him an icon. I mean, he's our frat brother, man, but I mean, come on, man. And then him narrating those specials, it was awful to watch.
Come on. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Ryan.
I mean, I don't know. I just look at it like, regardless of whether he took a plea deal or got bought or not, I feel like he did create a big movement. So, for that, he brought attention to a lot of people.
But you always say stand on it. He didn't stand on it.
Stood on it.
No, he didn't. He got paid off.
He kneeled.
He kneeled on that check.
Why do y'all feel like it's open season on successful black celebrities for any little misstep? Remember, they tried real hard to cancel Kevin Hart for an old joke about homosexuality, for which he apologized several times. But then the Oscars gave him an ultimatum to apologize again, or he couldn't host the ceremony. So Kevin was like, you know what? Peace out. He said, I did apologize, but you're not going to keep making me jump through all these hoops just for one gig. He stood on his principles and never lost a fan.
I think that's exactly right, because you saw what happened. Now he's the face of Chase Bank. Now he's got Prize Picks doing commercials with LeBron. I mean, he is uncancelable because his Q score, meaning how likable he is, based on it's got to be through the roof.
Yeah.
Likability. Yeah, likability. And to, our point, we talked about LeBron and other powerful athletes or men who are in power. celebrity-wise, doing things for the community. Kevin Hart is one who does everything for himself. Kevin ain't one that's coming out doing nothing too much for our community. He is a very much, I want to be the chase guy. I want to be the face of Verizon. I want to get the bag. And if I got to apologize to anybody, you know, the white man who pays me or whatever, here, do it. So that's definitely Kevin right there. And that's why he's amongst the 2%ers making billions.
Yeah.
We got a clip we want you to check out.
I think it was right after I hosted the Oscars. We went to dinner.
Yes.
And we talked about you hosting the Oscars, that it was a dream of yours. You've always wanted to host the Oscars. I mean, it must have been amazing when they asked you to host this year.
Unreal. To get the moment, celebrate the moment, and then the next morning, I'm hit with an onslaught on social media of my past coming back up again. I've talked about this. This isn't new. I've addressed it. I've apologized for it. I'm not going to pay it any mind. Because when you feed into that stuff, you only add more fuel to the fire.
Right.
Now the headlines are starting to change. The headlines are Kevin Hart refuses to apologize for homophobic tweets. Now I'm a little upset. I'm a little upset because I know who I am. I know I don't have a homophobic bone in my body. I know that I've addressed it. I know that I've apologized. So now I'm kind of upset because no headlines are saying 10 years ago he apologized. Nobody's finding the apologies. Nobody's finding the footage from where I had to address it. I was given an ultimatum. Kevin, apologize or we're gonna have to find another host. I said I would much rather step down and apologize again while stepping down and walk away. Because I wanna be done with the conversation. I don't wanna have to have this conversation anymore because I know who I am. I'm not that guy.
I know you're not that guy, because I know you.
So as long as we are in an America that is defined by its racial divides, we're going to have a double standard that makes black people targets in cancel culture and in these streets. Coming up, we're about to get into that part of our show where we'll help y'all navigate your lives. So don't go away. And welcome back to our show. We've asked our Truth Avengers to send their unfiltered questions so we can dish out some real relationship advice. Are y'all ready for Hit It or Quit It?
Hit it or quit it. Okay, so here is what one of our anonymous viewers shared. They said, so we've all had moments where we wish that we saw the whole friend group before making that final choice on a boo. But how do you go about it without seeming like a homie hopper? Is that crossing a line if I was only involved with the one friend for a couple of months?
You can't do that.
Yeah, once you lick it, it's yours.
You can't do that. Look, if you went on a date and you knew this was part of his friendship group, then there's just a unspoken code. You just don't do that.
Maybe a date, maybe you could get away with that, or maybe y'all just talked, maybe. But if you been intimate, like I said, once you put your mouth on it, it's
don't
yours.
even put your mouth on it. Just
a conversation
don't do it.
just has to be had. One of my friends, he ended up marrying a girl that he talked to the first girl when they was in college, and then later on he ended up being with one of her sorors. They've been married now for the last 17 years. So
he just talked to her, right?
Like no, they were actually together.
They was horizontal.
Like, you know,
yeah, they got horizontal.
Okay. He might have that thump on.
They played around. They played around.
I know,
but you say years later, though, right? Years later, though.
No, I know a similar situation. They were in
12 months to a year.
Yeah, they were in college, and they were same sorority sisters, and she was dating the guy, and all of a sudden, he's like, you know, I like your friend, and she was like, okay, well, what you want me to do? He was like, well, can I have your permission to date her?
Noble.
And then she said, yeah, and they got married too.
You see the difference though? Women will take you seriously with the other one, but men not. If I slept with one of your homeboys and then I'm trying to go to the other one, you're not gonna take me serious. You're not finna wife me up. You're gonna be like, she'll pass around and we're gonna run a train on the night.
Hold on.
No,
Bree, men marry hoes all the time. I'm gonna say that. Men marry hoes all the time.
Because they got experience.
But
they marry hoes all the time.
They will marry hoes, but not they homie hoes. That's the difference. They don't want to marry you because they, at the end of the day, they're still gonna hang out with their homeboys, and they gonna feel like.
Hold on, Derek Fisher did marry his teammate's ex-wife.
But I don't think they was homies. I think he had secret animosity.
Oh no, honey, they was
you know what I'm saying?
They teammates. That means you in the locker room, you on that court, you spending 90% of your time.
That don't mean you like them.
They was
That's
teammates.
That don't mean you like them.
They was
Well, listen,
close
they
enough. That's
basketball
out of
players.
pocket.
They basketball players. They just want to poke and lay up.
And
Well,
play
they
with
didn't.
balls.
They both married her, so they weren't trying to poke. They both married her.
I mean, who was that lady that has like 2 basketball babies by the same guys? They had a
guy.
last second shot the other day, and the other guy hit the shot on the other guy, and he was like, the baby mom was in the audience like, I got both of them.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, I
Drea?
did see
No.
that.
Yeah.
Drea, not Drea. Who?
No.
It's a very young girl, and she's
Younger.
got 2 young boyfriends that are both playing in the NBA on 2 separate teams.
Was
and she's
it
got babies by
Washington's?
both of them.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Man, I think life just way too short. If it's somebody you like, communicate. Like, I'm on this full truth thing now. Like, hey, we're not really compatible and working, but I think he or she, might be might be something else. I think it's okay
you
if
do
you
not
communicate.
have to
It will be
date
okay.
or sleep with the person you was on a date with or having sex with friend. I just think that is just low
Trifling.
budget to me. That's low
Trifling. Right.
functioning, period. I wouldn't do it. Now, if you end up on a date with him and didn't know it was a brother, I was on a date with a brother, then his brother walked into the house before we went on a date, and I said, that's your older brother? And he said, yep. And he said, oh, what's up, Shy? I said, hey, how you doing, Dom?
And she said the real name.
Hold on. But I went on the date.
Yeah.
But
I didn't date her.
I'm a super girl's girl, so I have actually turned, and my friends told me I was stupid for this. I turned down one of the most richest basketball players in the league because he had already been intimate with and dated somebody that I had worked with. She wasn't even one of my close friends, but we had worked together, and at the time I was doing music videos, so we kept working together, and I didn't want it to be awkward, so I turned him down. She was like, girl, you stupid. I would have dated
How
such
you
and such.
feel right now?
I don't care.
Okay.
Because my king is coming, okay? I'm
That's
waiting
right.
on
Take
you.
her to her king.
Right.
You don't
She
I'm
got
ready
a whole
to
lot
bring.
to bring.
And I'm ready
My
for
heart
my
is
ring.
Hey!
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. We had a
getting in the
moment.
booth.
We back.
We had
We
a
getting in
back.
the booth.
Yeah.
But she did get on that date though. I mean, you did go on a date when the other brother walked in the room. What was up with that? Why you do that?
Listen, we was already.
be like,
I
"Ooh,
was
I'm outta
dressed,
here."
We was on our way, and the brothers talked. I said, hey, right in front of him. I done dated your brother for a few months, and I'm going to dinner with the
Dated
younger
like
brother.
this or dated like this?
Oh no, dated like this. We
Okay,
didn't,
all
we
right,
didn't do
that's
the do.
different.
We dated
Back
like this.
T-shirt.
So hit it or quit it, Ryan. What you think? Yes or no?
No. Don't
Hit
do
it or
that.
quit it?
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Whatever
I said
that
quit
means.
it.
Quit
Hit it.
Quit it.
Hit it.
Of course you would say
Well,
hit
we
it.
got to quit it because that's all we have for tonight. We'll see y'all tomorrow for another edition of Truth Talks. Stay like this, not like this.
Say like this, not like
Like
this.
this, not like that.